Good evening. I'm Rosie Critelli, along with my co-anchor Dan Chagnon. Welcome to the premiere edition of the Raider Nation 2014. Tonight we will take a comprehensive look at the news and happenings here at Nutley High. As the doors of Nutley High open to our student body, the staff of NHS TV welcomes the class of 2018 to the halls of Nutley High. We wish you luck in all of your endeavors.
With the new school year upon us, Principal Williams sat down with our field reporter, Taylor Giancarelli, to discuss the challenges and goals of a new school year.
With the school year in full swing, what are some of the goals you have set for our learning community?
That's a great question. We have a bunch of goals that we have before us district-wide and building-wide. District-wide, one of the big goals is to open up the grade books for parent portal use starting third marking period. So we have been training with staff. Our teachers are discussing this on a daily basis. We have faculty meeting articulation on that in terms of common grading policy and how grades will look once it's opened up for parents come third marking period. I discussed this today with the student assembly, so I think it's important to reiterate. That's one of the big things district-wide we're doing, which I think is a great thing to keep communication going. Centric to our building goals include use of Performance Matters, which is a database of student performance that we want teachers to get in and use. So when you take a test in a class, the test you take goes in, and it's going to be counted, and it gives a proficiency rating of how you do, and the teachers can use that information based on how they construct the test to better instruct in the future and help you out and your classes out based on their needs that you guys show on the test. So that's one of the primary goals for our building. Second primary goal I talked about to everybody is our basic writing rubrics and common writing across curriculum goal. That's something that is near and dear to my heart. Studies have shown that buildings that dedicate resources and their energies and have a synergy amongst departments so that students are being exposed to rigorous writing assessments and graded commonly, so we develop really great writers. Those schools have shown improvements in across the board, and I think the biggest benefit of that will be for all students to graduate leaving us with a great skill set of having great written communication skills. Not just your AP kids and your honors kids and all that stuff, but every student from from everybody who goes through this building leaves us with the ability to communicate effectively.
With this being the first year of PARCC testing, what are some of your concerns regarding this massive undertaking?
PARCC is a massive undertaking. That's a great term to use. I was really concerned last year, but I think as the more we get control over it and own it and deal with what the state mandates are and the federal mandates are, I think it's going to be fine. I think we just have to get used to the change of how students take the tests. So we've had a huge infusion of technology this year, as opposed to last year. You might have noticed Chromebooks in some of your classes, and you may have not, but you will soon. So the massive increase in technology, I think, has helped us, and I think the students, once they get more comfortable with keyboarding and answering it in that framework, it will realize it's not as the big beast everybody fears. I think in the long run it'll probably help us all out, because you get immediate feedback on that from the scoring and all that stuff. So my whole thing with that is don't fear the reaper, embrace the change. We have great teachers, great kids. As long as we're all communicating out and on the same page, there's nothing to worry about. We can handle it.
What are some of the building goals you have set as our chief administrator?
I already said the building goals, but we'll repeat them. Well, again, use of data all the time, and you'll see us administration in the classroom making sure that students are getting and giving the feedback, and teachers are getting and giving feedback, so effective instruction is going on. And then again, the writing thing, I want to develop. We had that great poetry contest. I want to kind of improve our scores across the board. So I want kids to realize, because we have a lot of great talented kids with a lot of great things to do, that it's okay to shine academically, and we want to create the conditions that we have. Academic performance is up there with everybody's achievements on the football field.
With our building going to open gradebook in the third marking period, what procedures have you initiated to prepare the staff?
We keep on repeating ourselves here, but that's okay. That's a great question, because there's we got this information system 2 years ago. real time. And in the district where I send my students to school, it's all I've known for the last 10 years. Nutley's late to the game, so there's training on, like we said, on common grading policy, so everybody's on board with what they're assessing and why they're assessing, the way they're assessing, so there's no discrepancies between grade level classes. That's one thing. And then to have a realistic open line of communications. Part of our strategic plan is the communication team. I'm in charge of it as chief administrator for the district, and we need to communicate out. We're going to have parent nights, presentations on what exactly they're going to see on the portal, and students as well. The other key piece that's missing here is that, we're all worried about the teachers. I think the teachers will get a handle on it. Now the kids are going to have their stuff right there, so they can't lie about not doing homework and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be a great tool to communicate, and I think one of the things the staff is rightfully concerned about is making sure that parents know that there is a process and it's not an arbitrary process, and that there's going to have to be the idea that there may not be immediate grading time, or it's going to have to be some lag time. I get a great letter from my district every year from my daughters, what you should expect. So we're going to be doing the same thing here, communicating out to parents, what in fact is being graded, why it's being graded, and just guidelines on how to expect turnaround time, because people have to be realistic about what's going on. Teachers teach, some teachers over 140 students a day, right? And if you're asking them to get tests back immediately, in some cases there's going to have to be a couple of days here and there. But that being said, I think the feedback is going to help everybody.
With such a hectic schedule as our building principal, what do you like to do to unwind outside of NHS?
I like to watch the bats and the birds in my backyard because they don't talk back to me. I just like to relax. I do a lot of running. I've gotten back to the running thing and keeping myself in shape. And let me get that for you. These are great questions. I also perform in my musical band that I performed in a Nutley High School back in the 1980s. So I perform with my fellow 50-year-olds, reliving our childhood. We've never grown up. So it's very, very fun. But I try to keep myself busy.
From the staff of the Raider Nation, we wish you a prosperous year full of rigor and accomplishments that will make the Raiders full of pride. Thank you, and reporting from NHS TV, I'm Taylor J. Critelli.
We wish Mr. Williams and all of our staff a productive school year with new challenges and concepts on the horizon.
This week, Back to School Night was held to familiarize parents with students, new teachers, and new classes. Field reporter Erin Neary checked out the scene.
What priorities do you have when you are meeting the parents for the first time at open house?
There's a lot of priorities, but first, to get to know who their child is. Second, to introduce them to my Google Classroom, which I'm super excited about. And third, I want to show them all the technology that we're infusing into the science curriculum this year.
I'd say that my priorities are just letting the parents know what the class is like, letting them know that they're in good hands with me while they're here during the school day, and that they're going to come out of the class with skills that they need moving forward in life.
It's a very important point to make, especially when the parents are coming in here for the first time, especially the freshman parents, to show them exactly what their students are going to be engaging in throughout the school year. I think it's a priority of ours to make sure that the parents are very aware that their students are going to be going and experiencing different things throughout the school year. I think we offer a great opportunity for our freshmen coming in as well as our seniors that are leaving. We try to do everything we can, and most importantly, we will all want to have fun.
Well, I want to start off, right note, so I always start off with a joke. I make a joke about my parents teaching here, and then I get into, content of study, what's expected of their children, and I just try to come off as sounding confident and, happy.
How does following your student schedule benefit you as a parent of a student here at NHS?
Because it makes it easier for me to see who they have in class, and I'll be better able to figure out what they're doing at home and what he's doing in school. It'll be more easy to follow at home.
I get to meet the teachers. They explain different things for their homework, and it gives me kind of like a heads up on what he's doing throughout his class, and it just kind of keeps me involved.
It helps me get familiar with their class, with their teacher, with what they're going to have to do for homework, what's expected of them, and I just like to be familiar with what's going on every day for them.
It sure has been a hectic night here at Open House. Reporting for the Raider Nation, I'm Myre. Back to the studio.
Back to school night was a great success thanks to the administration and teachers for making it possible.
In this segment of Faculty Profile, Myre talks with math instructor Mr. McQuade, who recently returned to Nutley after 6 years in a Georgia high school.
On your return, what were some of your thoughts when you started your first day back?
When I made it back, it was good to see some people that I'd worked with before. Good to see some of the faces that were familiar, and everything else pretty much seemed the same.
What goals have you set for yourself on your return?
Try to reintegrate myself into the Nutley community and be helpful, help kids out, get some good relationships going with the faculty, and hopefully get involved with some sports at some point.
Has the new curriculum made a big difference in your style of teaching?
Common Core has been going around for a couple years, so we've been doing it in Georgia. We did it in Georgia, so I'm a little bit used to it. It's not too much different.
Is Georgia's education system much different from New Jersey's?
That's a loaded question. I think Georgia's 48th in education, so they do things a little bit differently down there. But I wouldn't say it's too much different. They're talking about going to block scheduling. They're talking about going to block scheduling here. They're talking about parent portal, and we're going to parent portal. So I think a lot of it's still the same.
Outside the classroom, what are some of your hobbies and interests?
Sleeping, is that an interest? Playing golf. Try to avoid Mr. Stolp calling me up, so I want to play golf with him.
And have you ever seen the movie 21 Jump Street?
I have not, but I've heard about it all week since I've been back, so evidently I'm going to have to check this out, and everybody keeps thinking my name is Doug, so I'll have to work on that.
We wish you the best of luck on your return. Reporting for Raider Nation, I'm Myre.
We welcome back Mr. McQuade back to the friendly confines of Nutley High and wish him a productive year in our math department.
As the summer comes to a close and fall is at our doorstep, we sent out our NHS TV crew to survey faculty and students on their fondest memories of this past summer.
My favorite summer memory was becoming a lifeguard at Chadwick Beach.
My favorite summer memory is probably getting saved from Matt Butler at Chadwick Beach.
Mi parte favorito del verano es el momento inmediatamente después de la graduación, porque yo sé que tengo 2 meses de vacaciones.
Going on vacation with my daughter, Myre.
I was going to Six Flags with my friends. Going to the Dominican Republic with my family.
Probably my favorite thing that I was doing this summer was going to the beach with my family, which is very big, and having everybody come over for dinner and going to the beach and playing volleyball, and that was the most fun for me this summer.
My favorite summer memory was the trip I took to Hawaii and was brought into the Pacific Ocean on a boat, jumped off with a snorkel, and was able to swim with the wild dolphins.
My favorite summer memory was going to beautiful St. Lucia with my beautiful wife, Mrs. Francello.
With my son and my family to England to be on the set of the second Avengers movie. That was my son's wish through the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
3. Is the light on? Okay. My favorite summer memory this year was going on vacation with my family, my extended family as well, out to the Poconos. Unfortunately, the place we went to closed down, so it was the last year. So it was tears of joy were cried.
Memory is swimming with my kids in the Bahamas.
Reading history books.
Favorite summer memory is reading my Star Trek book from 1967.
I went to Russia with my family.
My favorite summer memory was going to see Beyonce and Jay-Z live at MetLife Stadium. How about you, Dan?
I'd say my favorite summer memory was going on vacation with family and friends.
On behalf of Raider Nation and my co-anchor Dan Chagnon, we hope your news is good news. Have a great evening.